Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished dignitaries, eminent scholars, respected delegates, and esteemed guests. To minds that question and hearts that call, we gather today beneath one sky where thought and purpose dare to fly. On behalf of Parul University, with pride and grace, I welcome you all to this remarkable space. It is both an honor and a privilege to extend to you all a heartfelt welcome to the inaugural ceremony of the International Conference on Mindfulness, Behavioral Science, and Legal Innovations. This landmark conference brings together a confluence of thought leaders, practitioners, researchers, and change makers, serving as a catalyst for shaping thoughtful and transformative futures. It is a place where everyone is united by a shared vision to critically explore the interwoven domains of mindfulness, behavioral science, legal transformation, and emerging technologies. Welcome once again to each bright soul. May BLAIM 2025 uplift us whole. Let this be more than just a start. Let it be a change for both our mind and hearts. Thank you everyone for your gracious presence. Let's begin the journey. To set the tone for today's proceedings and offer a window into the spirit that drives us, we present a brief introductory video on Parul University, a dynamic hub of knowledge, innovation, and cultural richness. I invite all of you to direct your attention to witness the values, vision, and vibrant ecosystem that defines our university. May we have the video, please?
Imagine a place where every step connects you with nature. Every breath sparks new ideas, and every lesson opens the door to new opportunities. This is Parul University, a hub of innovation and inspiration, where education meets real-world impact. Nestled on a 150-acre campus, Parul University is a NAAC A++ accredited institution known for transforming education. With over 3 decades of excellence, PU offers a range of diploma, undergraduate, postgraduate, and doctoral programs. Our world-class faculties, top-tier facility, and industry-aligned curriculum ensure Students are prepared to excel in their careers.
Ranked among India's top 50 universities for innovation by NIRL 2024 and recognized by the UGC as a Category 1 university, being rated with a diamond rating by USRA and being awarded platinum band rating for outcome-based education from the university has also carried forward this legacy of excellence with the newly established Parul University Goa campus, which has created a hub of quality education and innovation at the heart of India's system campus.
Academic excellence. At Parul University, education goes beyond the classroom. Our curriculum, aligned with the National Education Policy (NEP), offers honors and research programs, dual degrees, and global opportunities through 100+ international partnerships. Students gain practical skills and industry insights, preparing them for leadership roles in engineering, healthcare, design, business, and more. State-of-the-art ICT-enabled classrooms, specialized labs, and a focus on research provide a holistic learning experience. Whether in medicine, technology, or management, BE offers students the tools to thrive. For those in
rise at their places. We have had the chief guest of the day. Can we have a round of applause for Dr. Vijay Patkar sir, Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri awardee, serves as the chief guest of today's conference. Can we keep clapping and energize the energy of the auditorium? Everyone to please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, to mark the auspicious beginning of this 3-day intellectual odyssey, let us invoke the blessings of the divine. May the light of wisdom guide our deliberations and reflections. To invoke divine blessings, we begin with a classical invocation dedicated to Goddess Saraswati, the eternal source of wisdom, creativity, and learning. I invite Ms. Ananya to grace the stage and present a soulful Saraswati Vandana.
Saraswati, Share
commencing this morning with poise and devotion. Life is a symbol of wisdom, knowledge, and auspicious beginnings. To mark the formal inauguration of this grand event, we now move to the ceremonial lamp lighting. I take this honor to invite the following esteemed dignitaries to grace the stage for lamp lighting. Dr. Gitika Maden Patel Ma'am, Vice President, Medical Director, Parul University. Dr. Amit Ganatra Sir, Provost, Parul University. Padma Bhushan and Padma Shri awardee, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar Sir, Ex-Chancellor, Nalanda University, our Chief Guest for the conference. Professor Lakshmidhar Behera Sir, Director, IIT Mandi, our Guest of Honor. Professor Richa Mishra Ma'am, Director of Scientific Communication, Outreach and Public Engagement, and Head Technical PR, Parul University. May I request all the dignitaries to proceed to the stage for the ceremonial lighting of the lamp. May the light of knowledge continue to illuminate our path. I request all the dignitaries after the lamp lighting to please take their seats on the dais. Stands visionary, someone who not only leads but inspires. Dr. Amit Ganatra Sir, Provost, Parul University, to share a few words of wisdom.
Very good morning and a warm welcome to all of you. BLAIM 2025, which is this of inequality to environment. So humanity theme is very important. We are happy to host this conference, which is multidisciplinary in nature, which brings together psychologists, technologists, all people and all other relevant people. So this conference will serve the purpose in terms of all the challenges what we face today in our world. We at Parul University, being leading university of Gujarat, always believes that education which always serve the purpose of humanity. So we try to bridge the gap between knowledge and humanity through our various program, courses, all other initiatives what we take. We are known for our diversity with more than 65,000 plus students, 5,000 international students from 75 different nationalities, which really bring the diversity and innovation and which matches with the theme of this conference, which is BLAIM 2025. I urge all the students, participants, all the researchers to see the possibility, be futuristic, be forward-looking, get the insight about all the topics, all the experts are here. There is no barrier. Sir is from high. See the evolution starting from parallel and distributed computing to cluster computing to grid computing to cloud computing to edge computing to fog computing, and now future all computing needs are going to be satisfied with quantum computing only. So see that evolution which is happening and what is the future. Be futuristic, find out the future trend and accordingly try to correlate your research work. Because your research is all about what is going to happen in future and how this all technology, all the subjects, what is the theme of the conference will solve all the challenges what we face in the world today. So Parul University is known for state-of-the-art infrastructure, for holistic education, for all things which we provide beyond the classroom and the learning that always happens beyond the classroom. So I hope that the scope, cell and all the team members, those who have come up with this conference, it will meet the vision with which it has been designed. And thumbs up to the scope cell and all the team members. Big round of applause. So very unique subject on this theme they have come up with this conference, and I hope that you will get good insight, good knowledge, good future directions, and we believe that research must start at the undergraduate level. So after streamlining all the processes, now teaching, learning and everything, now our focus is to be research-led university, and our focus is to enhance research at undergraduate level so that whatever outcome of research we have decided we can achieve. So once again, welcome to Parul University. Our chief guest, Vijay Bhattar sir, our guest of honor, all other invited speakers. We once again welcome all of you and happy stay and happy learning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Behind every successful event is a mind that envisioned excellence, a heart that embraced commitment, and hands that worked tirelessly to turn vision into reality. As we eagerly anticipate the wealth of knowledge and inspiration that BLAIM 2025 promises to offer, may I invite Dr. Richa Mishra ma'am, Director of Scientific Communication, Outreach and Public Engagement to the lectern to provide us with a nuanced understanding of the conference theme and introduce Ekagrata, our initiative centered on mindfulness and focused living.
Good morning. Good morning all. I would like to start with one statement which makes me remind of my childhood, which tells me that what I should keep doing, that Bhogo na bhukta, vaib mein bhukta, kalo na yati, vaib mein vyata. What does it mean? We have not eaten things, rather the things have eaten us. Time does not pass, it is we who pass on. So it is a right time that before we pass on, we should start working together for one motive. So I would like to welcome you all for this particular cause, what we are here for, that is our conference and the opening statement and opening part of our Ekagrata, a vision which is established to help our students and staff members to look into their well-being as well. So again, good morning to all our distinguished speakers, respected colleagues, dedicated staff, students, and esteemed guests we have for today. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you for our conference, BLAIM 2025. So this word must be troubling you, right? BLAIM. So we kept it purposely, like whom to blame. Whom do we should question that this is something we should start working on. Should we look for a legal help? Should we look for a psychiatrist or a psychologist to help us, or to the engineers, or to our senior stakeholders to start working on the part where we should look into? So the blame is to blame, but we are looking for the answers today. And this is the beginning what we want you all to focus on. So this conference, it's the first conference, but I hope and I pray today in front of you that it should give us a clear vision to India, that where we want to go further. Right? So it's the first international conference on mindfulness, behavioral science and legal innovation. It is never mixed before, never ever in all over the world. It never got mixed. If I'm wrong, you are please here to correct me. Because no one did this, that legal should come parallelly with mindfulness, should parallelly come with our AI and technology and supercomputing. This is the first time we are doing. So we would like everyone to be applauding for themselves that you are the part for this cause. I will set the context today why we are doing this. Because sarcastically I got one comment or a compliment that I am doing it before my increment is going to be announced. But it is not for that reason. So I should tell you that this is not the reason why we are doing it, and why we are doing it at this time and on a very short notice. Our speakers and all dignitaries in our Parul and outside Parul, they had taken this as a highest time of privilege to be here. So I would like just to put a limelight on what we are as in Parul University before you should know that what we are as in students also, as a staff members. So I will take a pleasure and a pride to reflect you on Parul University's journey for 2024-25 academic year. The moment we are in 25, so I will take that to you. Our academic standing received national recognition. We placed among India's top 150 universities in NIRF 2024, achieved an impressive 47th rank in pharmacy, and secured a spot among the top 50 for innovation. Added to this, we have QS AI Gauge awarded as platinum rating in medicine, engineering and pharmacy, along with a diamond rating in management, the first private university in Gujarat to do so. Further, the government of Gujarat honored us with the Center of Excellence status, affirming our commitments to excellence in education. In healthcare, all our 7 of our teaching hospitals earned NABH accreditation. That is an affirmation of our high standards in medical education as well. So, the inauguration of our Goa campus marked another milestone in our national growth and campus upgrades. The Parul Innovation and Entrepreneurship Research Center secured 79.04 crores in startup grants and 72.28 crores in funding, successfully incubating 79 startups. 74.02 crore grants from BIREC enabled the launch of our Social Innovation Center. Our latest edition Micro Nano R&D Center obtained rupees of 72.55 lakhs in national funding and 65,000 euros from Royal Academy of Engineering UK. So I had given you just a glimpse and the start part of what we are right now at Parul University. Now coming to the point of this conference, one more thing, if you can see a reason why we are here together as bird species. We have 110 plus at our campus. We have more than 10,000 trees at our campus. We have 150 acres green biodiverse campus right now, which you are here for, to give us understanding that how we can establish our other centers which we are aiming for. So now let's look into BLAIM. What is a BLAIM and what's a core objective? So BLAIM stands for Behavioral Science, Legal Innovation, Artificial Intelligence, Interdisciplinary Dialogues on Mindfulness. So this conference brings together our scholars, practitioners, policymakers, and change makers from across disciplines to explore how mindfulness can shape legal systems, behavioral transformation, and AI-driven innovation. BLAIM isn't just a conference or a gathering of ideas, it's a movement towards a more conscious, ethical, and an inclusive future. In today's fragmented world facing mental health crisis, it's a movement where crisis of mental health, institutional fatigue, and ethical dilemmas in AI and justice, BLAIM aims for bridging inner transformation with systematic change, promote human-centered innovations, drive interdisciplinary collaboration between law, science, AI, and traditional knowledge systems. Let's look at the conference overview, what we are here for. We have 4 interdisciplinary tracks, 24 global speakers from 14 countries, 2 high-level roundtables on AI, law, and Indian knowledge system, workshops, posters, and student engagement activities, all aligned with our SDGs and NEP 2020. So now the point comes, and these are our invited speakers. You can have a look on a, please. We will be introducing shortly all of them to you for a talk. So now the question comes, why Ekagrata? Why it is important to be focused on actually what point. So Ekagrata, now if you see, we have a population all over the world that is 8.2 billion people, first point. Next, India's population, that is very, very important to have a look, is 1.5 billion. That is precisely 1,467 million people. So what's the point here? What's the catch we should look into? Let's have a look on a data achieved from WHO and Mental Health Atlas Insight. So if you have a look on this, you can find that 60% of countries report having a formal mental health policy. Coverage often includes treatment, prevention, rehabilitation through implementation varies widely. Treatment coverage for major depression disorder, that is MDD, is approximately 33% in high-income countries, but only approximately 8% in low and middle-income countries. That is what we call as LMICs, what we belong to, India belongs to, LMICs. Okay? And schizophrenia treatment coverage remains low globally. That's the data covered from varied sources. We had concluded that. So why this conference now? So why this conference and why now we are doing it? Mental health prevalence in India is at 14% with a 92% treatment gap. So the doctors sitting here and the other people, those who are aligned with this goal, please have a look that we are lacking or having a gap of 92%, which is the highest suicide rates among youth and increasing institutional stress. Legal system and technology often operates in silos, lacking human empathy and behavioral insight. Sorry to say, but we have to look into it. But because legal system is taking a back foot where we really need them to take a front foot and support for the cause. So the reason the reason of explanation I have mentioned again. High-income countries like USA, UK, Canada, UA nations, Australia invest heavily in all the 4 domains supported by strong national research councils. But in India, by contrast, has extremely limited allocations for mental health, that is less than 1%, and psychological research is not well separated in funding lines. Advancing psychology and law research in India typically depends on ICSSR or ICMR, and philanthropists, CSR, partners, mental health, philanthropy is playing an increasing role where we have to see what and why we are lacking. So BLAIM is a platform. BLAIM is a platform to rethink education, governance and justice. So I'm again reiterating this statement. BLAIM 2025 is a platform to rethink education, governance and justice, anchored in a mindfulness, compassion and behavioral intelligence. So now, again I will take you to the same question, why Ekagrata, the birth of a vision within BLAIM. Within this, why we are doing it. To extend the spirit of BLAIM conference into the daily fabric of university life, we proudly introduce Ekagrata, the Center of Mindfulness and Behavioral Studies, to you all. The Ekagrata word, the Center of Mindfulness Behavioral Studies. So the Sanskrit word Ekagrata means single point focus, a deep state of presence and awareness. Ekagrata means one pointed focus, a mental state of clarity, a calm and awareness. So this center in Parul University's institutional commitment to cultivating inner balance for our outer impact. In an age dominated by anxiety, speed and digital overload, the need for a dedicated mindfulness space within academia has been greater. So there, we can say categorically, Ekagrata we had aimed and focused on mindfulness, consciousness and behavioral studies. So Ekagrata is rooted in Indian knowledge system, that's IKS, supported by our NEP 2020, Ayush Ministry and UGC guidelines. It aims to encourage mindfulness and consciousness in academia and administrative ecosystem, integrate behavioral sciences, IKS and neurosciences, build a bridge between policy, practice and inner well-being. So it is aligned with SDG Goal 3, that is good health and well-being, SDG 4, quality education, SDG 16, that is peace, justice and strong institutions. So have a look on Ekagrata's foundation. We have 4 pillars of Ekagrata. Practice. We are looking for practice, daily motivation, mindfulness, mindful movement and a stress relief session. So we are keeping 4 pillars: practice, research, education and outreach. In research, we are looking forward for interdisciplinary studies in collaboration with behavioral scientists, legal experts and educators. In education, we need to have a credit course. So I would introduce you shortly with one of our fellow member in our speakers panel, Ajay Chaturvedi. He is running one course of Kullar Economy at IIT Mandi, which is again IIT Mandi is running that course, so why we can't do it at our university? That course itself is telling that the IKS system should be incorporated with our technical studies. So we, as an education partners, we can look into credit course, workshops, faculty development on mindful teaching, and outreach part is again very, very important, where we should talk like a community, we should talk like people who are looking for the engagements within schools, sports and wellness programs. So now, how far we had taken step in Ekagrata? What's our journey so far? Over 20 mindfulness circles and student-led awareness initiatives we had covered so far in last 6 months. Pilot project on mindfulness and attention in digital learning. Collaboration in progress with experts from law, psychology, neuroscience and Indian knowledge system. And active integration with student mental health services. So So what next? What next, like, what is the roadmap for 2025-26? Launch of a mindful leadership program for students and academic heads. For that real purpose, we had invited Manish Loharji and Nehaji, Dr. Nehaji, to explain us the educational tools for our well-being. So we invite you, sir, for this purpose. So again, launch of mindfulness leadership programs for our students and academic heads is our target for a coming year. Mindfulness-based legal education modules under BLAIM themes. Establishment of a mindfulness research lab with digital biosensors tools, where I would request our Dr. Cherin to guide us on this part where we can develop the labs. And TAN University Challenge on designing for well-being. So I again request our students and the partners, and I invite you with my full, you can say, gratitude and humbleness that please come together. We are nowhere a private or a government or the body who can not work together. It's my humble request from my core that we should come together. As in students, you can lead with inner clarity. Faculty to teach with presence. Stakeholders to support evidence-backed well-being programs, and partners to co-create mindfulness interventions for justice, education, and social innovation. So Ekagrita is just not a center, it's a commitment to our conscious transformation. So thank you, and let's walk together in Ekagrita as BLAIM 2025 opens new conversations across disciplines. Ekagrita offers a groundbreaking space from which these conversations can grow. Together, let us lead a future with, where mindfulness meets innovation and clarity shapes our change. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Indeed, the data shared in the initial part of the speech were overwhelming and clearly tells us the importance of mindfulness and well-being. Thank you for letting us know about the initiative of Ekagrita. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to stand before you today as we reach a pivotal moment in our proceedings. We feel honored to have with us a leader whose distinct vision, exemplary leadership, and profound insights have been instrumental in guiding our university towards excellence. The Vice President, Quality Research and Health Science and Medical Director, Parul University, Dr. Vidika Patel, ma'am. May I please invite ma'am to the lectern to share her vision and thoughts.
A very good morning to all. First of all, at the outset, I would like to once again warmly welcome and heartily thank all the dignitaries, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar sir, Dr. Lakshmi Dhar, Dr. Chetri, Dr. Cherian, Dr. Namu, Dr. Beula, Dr. Krishna, Dr. Ramjayan, Dr. Mahesh and Dr. Reena. Excuse me if I have missed some names. So it's an extreme honor and a delight for us to have all of you here support our initiative, which has been recently conceptualized. So Madam had talked a lot about Ekagrita. पीछे कुछ बच्चे सो रहे थे मैंने देखा. So time to wake up. I will not stand for a long time between you and the speakers. So just to wake you up, let's rub your hands for a minute. थोड़ा सा rub करके and put it on your faces. You will feel better. इतना सारा बाहर मानसून का अच्छा क्लाइमेट, अंदर AC, feel like sleeping. So yeah, this is a beautiful day today, a wonderful beginning to something which was conceptualized some time back. And on and off, I was asked when we planned this Center for Mindfulness. We were looking for names and then we finally shortlisted Ekagrita. So on and off, time and again, I was asked that why are we doing this? What is all this happening? I'm sure thoda sa clarity after listening to the presentation aapko aaya hoga. But still talking a few moments about it, a few lines about it is, we very strongly believe that the role of any educational organization is to make sure that its students are able to attain the maximum potential It is to make sure to give them the right opportunities, the right guidance, to make them the best version of themselves. And we as an educational organizations, as the leaders of an education organization, always look forward to bridge the gaps, that what is pulling you off, what is pulling you back, and how we can make you reach the best of your potentials. Now, of late, understanding these gaps, what we realize that more than some gaps in teaching, learning and skills, there are some more things which are pulling the youth back. I would not nomenclate them in psychology terms, but I have some really interesting names for these. Apart from the distractions and the lack of focus, I have some names which I came to know recently. Imposter syndromes, then we have FOMOs, then we have technopherence. I'm not sure if everybody has heard of these names, but I'm sure all of you have. I'm not sure if these names have already come in our psychology textbooks. If not, then they will surely come soon. So these are certain things. Imposter syndrome, which is a feeling of self-doubt, lack of confidence. FOMO, of course, we talk about it very often. Technopherence, the interference of technology in our relationships. And there are so many such things which keep pulling us back and which, hinder our self-development to a larger extent. To address these gaps, to address these issues, we felt that we are equally responsible, apart from giving the best teaching learning in the classrooms, to provide and support with such a center that can help bridge these gaps. And I believe that mindfulness is not about sitting 5 minutes and meditating or doing one simple exercise or like yoga or something. But it is about developing your capabilities through self-regulation and being able to voluntarily control your mental processes. Just giving an example, मैं बोल रही हूँ, आप सोच रहे होंगे क्या बोलते जा रहे हैं. Let me scroll through and see a friend who went for trekking, उसने pics upload किए होंगे. Let me check my feed. So that is your mind telling you, and now you are trying to regulate and say no. I should be focusing on what is being happening here. So that is a regulation which has to happen from the mind, and that is where ekagrata comes in picture, where mindfulness comes into picture, and that is what we are trying to do. And primarily focusing upon 3 C's and 2 F's. The C's already Madam talked about, more of them was calmness, clarity and concentration. These are the 3 C's that we are trying to aim at. And the two F's, which stand for focus and flexibility. Specifically, cognitive flexibility is what we are trying to attain through several initiatives that are being planned under this center. But something which I always tell is that if you don't open up the curtains in the morning, the sunlight will not come inside. There is a lot of bright sun which shines right in the morning. However, if you are sleeping in dark inside the room with the curtains closed, it will not reach to you. So it is we who will have to open our curtains, the curtains of our minds, the curtains in the spirit and the soul, and that is when the light will be able to reach us, and that is how every single person's role comes here. And speakers to help us figure out that how we can support scientifically whatever we are going to do through research, through evidence-based practices, and that is how we are going to venture into a lot of research happening around this center, and we are trying to study minds. I believe as a doctor that the most interesting thing to study about is the human mind, which is ultimately governing the entire, not just this planet, but multiple other things across the places. So it is the human mind which needs to be studied the most, and that is what we are trying to do. Not taking further more time, I'll just quickly share something which happened a couple of days back. I have a young daughter, and she was struggling with something, and she was coming up and telling me since a few days that I am not liking going to school. So a couple of times I tried asking her that what is happening, what is troubling you. She was a very fond student, loves going to school. So after a couple of days she came back and told me that there is a friend of her which is, she is struggling a lot, and she always comes and talks something which she doesn't like, and she is not able to stay away from her. उससे दूर नहीं रह पा रही, इसलिए स्कूल नहीं जाना है. So then it was a difficult situation because now as a parent I cannot go to school and tell a friend that you stay away from her, but eventually I have to find out a solution. So then a couple of days I thought, what should I do? And then I came up with a solution through an experiment. Experiment to yahan pe nahi kar sakte, but I can make you imagine this experiment. So we took 3 containers. One was a very small cup, ek chota sa cup tha, and then there was a little bigger glass, and then there was a jar of water. Then we took a spoon of salt, 1 full spoon of salt. We put it in the cup of water. सबसे पहले एकदम छोटा सा cup था, उसमें डाला. Then we put it in the glass of water, which was a little bigger, and then we put it in the big jar of water. And then I made her drink. So the small cup of water with a full spoon of salt, she tried to drink, and it was extremely bad, So she couldn't drink it. It was nauseating. A little bigger glass of water was okay, manageable, could drink. And the biggest jar of this big jar of water with that spoon of salt, then she drank it, and it was absolutely okay. Couldn't feel anything. So she was also confused. What is happening? The same spoon of salt in the small glass of cup and glass, it is troubling, but in the bigger jar it is not. So then I smiled and explained it to her that this spoon is the troubles around us. This is the same every time. Today also it is going to be there. Tomorrow it is also going to be there. The glass, the water inside these containers is our consciousness. Now, there are certain things which are not going to be in our control. But how we train our mind to deal with this, pouring more positive thoughts, talking to more positive people around us, reading books that bring positivity, watching content that gives us positiveness, expands our consciousness like a jar of water. And eventually what happens is, that spoon of salt is not making a difference. The spoon of salt is still the same in the jar, but still it is not making a difference. So dear students, what we are trying to do here is switch over from that scarcity consciousness to abundance consciousness. This is the water is the consciousness that we have. The only option that we have is expanding and raising our consciousness level so that what's around us, the distractions, the lack of focus, the things which are troubling us, the relationship issues, they become like that spoon of salt, and we are able to deal with them easy and conveniently. So that is an ultimate objective of this center, to help you and train you with these initiatives so that you can grow in your consciousness levels, you can become better version of yourselves, and you are able to achieve more and more in life. That is our ultimate objective, that you become the best version of yourselves and you be there where you deserve to be. And these things, these distractions should not pull you back. And that is the reason we have started with this. I'm sure this conference is going to be a great start, and it's going to help us back these initiatives with a lot of scientific evidences and research as well. So once again, I congratulate you for work together, bringing this positivity in the campus around, and we are looking forward to doing great things in future with the center. And once again, I thank all the speakers who have taken out their time and are here with us today to make this event a great success. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for offering thoughts and reflections on the vision that has shaped this transformative initiative, BLAIM's 2025. Let's proceed to the most important segment of today's event, felicitation of our esteemed guests. May I please request Dr. Kitika Madan Patel ma'am to please step ahead and welcome the chief guest of the conference today, Padma Bhushan and Padma Shri awardee, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar sir, with a shawl and a memento. Can we have a round of applause for Dr. Vijay Bhatkar sir? Have managed to be with us and grace the occasion with his presence. Can we have the memento and the shawl? The mere presence of the stalwart Dr. Vijay Bhatkar is a matter of pride for all of us. Can we keep clapping to honor a visionary leader amongst us today? Thank you so much, ma'am and sir. Thank you so much. I request the guests to be please seated. May I now request Dr. Amit Ganatra sir, Provost Parul University, to please step ahead and felicitate our guest of honor of today's conference, Professor Lakshmidhar Behra sir, Director, IIT Mandi, with a shawl and a memento. Seems the energy has gone down so much. Dr. Lakshmidhar Behra sir from IIT Mandi serving as Director. Thank you so much, sir, for your presence. With minds that shine and hearts that lead, they plant the thoughts, they sow the seed. Today we honor with gratitude deep for the knowledge they share and the wisdom they keep. Ladies and gentlemen, we are truly privileged to be in the presence of a galaxy of distinguished speakers, each of whom has contributed immensely to their respective fields through thought leadership, research, and transformative actions. As a token of our appreciation and respect, we now move on to the felicitation of our eminent guests. To start with, Dr. Lehu Sarkar ma'am. Ma'am is a renowned criminologist and head of the Division of Criminology and Forensic Science at Karunya Institute of Technology and Science, Coimbatore. Former chair professor at NICFS, ma'am is a pioneer in victimology and criminal justice reform. With global recognition, prestigious fellowships, and a career dedicated to empowering marginalized communities through research, education, and policy advocacy, establishing her as a leading figure in criminology, victimology, and criminal justice. Ma'am is away for a moment. Once she is back, we'll felicitate her. To move ahead with the next guest, we have Professor Ajay Chaturvedi sir. Sir is a visiting professor, strategy and management at IIM Rohtak, and is a globally recognized thought leader, entrepreneur, and author, celebrated as a young global leader by the World Economic Forum and alumnus of BITS Pilani, Wharton and Harvard Kennedy School. Sir is a an alumnus of BITS Pilani, Wharton and Harvard Kennedy School. Sir is the founder of Harva Expo, India's pioneering all-women ruler BPO, blending strategy, innovation and social impact with remarkable success. A prolific author, his best-selling book, Lost Wisdom of the Swastika, is taught in leading business schools as Kullar Economy, redefining strategic understanding through ancient wisdom. May I please request Professor Ajay Chaturvedi sir to step ahead, and I would also request Dr. Bijal Zaveri, Dean Faculty of Management Studies, Parul University, to step ahead and felicitate Professor Ajay Chaturvedi sir. Can we have a memento, please? Thank you so much, sir, for your presence. Thank you, Bijal ma'am. Next we have Mr. Mahesh Lohar sir, an acclaimed life coach and mind consultant from Pune, who has empowered over 25,000 individuals and mentored 250 plus leaders through transformative coaching in life planning and leadership. With deep expertise in personal growth, business strategy, and sustainability awareness, Sir continues to inspire purposeful living and holistic success. May I please request Dr. Vipul Vakaria sir, Dean and Principal, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, to please come up on the dais and felicitate Mr. Mahesh Lohar sir. Can we have a round of applause for Mr. Mahesh Lohar sir for him to grace this occasion? Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Dr. Ramajayam Govindraji, sir, a physician scientist with an MBBS and PhD, specializes in the neuroscience of yoga, consciousness, and mental health. A former scientist at NIMHANS and now at IIT Mandi, Sir's pioneering research explores yoga-based interventions for serious psychiatric disorders with significant contributions to neurobiology, psychiatry, and integrative healthcare. May I please request Dr. Vimal Pagadia, sir, Dean, Parul Institute of Paramedical and Health Sciences, to please step ahead of the dais and felicitate Dr. Ramajayam Govindraji, sir. Welcome you, sir. Can we have a round of applause? Thank you so much, sir. Dr. I. Cherian, sir. Sir is a renowned neurosurgeon, educator, and inventor. Currently director of the Institute of Neurosciences at the College of Medical Sciences, Bharatpur, Nepal. Sir is globally recognized for pioneering the groundbreaking technique for managing severe head injuries and developing neuro-optical tools like the hyperscope, and is the leading force in advancing neurosurgical practice and education worldwide. Welcome you, sir. I request Dr. Deepak Patel, ma'am, Director, Center for Counseling and Psychological Wellness, to please step ahead on the dais and felicitate Dr. I. Cherian, sir. Thank you so much, sir, ma'am. Professor Sambhu Shetty, sir, fondly known as the Happiness Guru, is a globally recognized thought leader in gross national happiness, having served as a founding executive director of the GNH Center, Bhutan, and a former joint secretary in Bhutan's Prime Minister's office. With over 4 decades of experience across sectors, Sir currently leads the Yogananda School of Spirituality and Happiness at Shulini University, Himachal Pradesh, inspiring global audiences with his philosophy of mindful and compassionate living. We welcome you, sir. May I please request Dr. M. Parmar, sir, Dean, Parul Institute of Social Work, Parul University, to step ahead on the dais and felicitate Professor Sambhu Shetty, sir. Dr. Krishna Prasad Miyapuram sir. Sir is an associate professor at Department of Cognitive and Brain Sciences, IIT Gandhinagar, with dual expertise in cognitive and computer science. A Cambridge PhD in cognitive neuroscience, his research spans neuroeconomics, artificial intelligence, neuroimaging, and decision making. With global academic and industry experience, Dr. Krishna's dedication to understanding the complexities of the human brain positions him as the leading expert in the interdisciplinary domain of cognitive and computational neurosciences. Thank you for your presence, sir. May I please request Dr. Rajiv Parekh, sir, Dean, Faculty of Law, to please step ahead on the dais and felicitate Dr. Krishna Prasad Miyapuram, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Krishna Prasad Miyapuram, sir, for your presence. Shortly before, I have introduced Dr. Bedua Sarkar ma'am to all of you. Ma'am is here with us now. Can I request Dr. Devarati Kalda ma'am, Professor, Parul Institute of Law, and a senior member of SCOPE, please come up on the dais and felicitate Dr. Bedua Sarkar ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your presence. Last but not the least, we have Dr. Reena Sharma, ma'am. Ma'am is a renowned rehabilitation and forensic psychologist and the founder of the Mind Practice, Ahmedabad. She brings over 2 decades of expertise in mental health, forensic psychology, and offender rehabilitation. Ma'am has pioneered SAMAR, India's first therapeutic prison program, and continues to champion accessible, evidence-based psychological support for individuals, institutions, and the criminal justice system. May I please request Ms. Nivisha, Senior Manager, Ekadrita Cell, to please step ahead on the dais and felicitate Dr. Reena Sharma ma'am. To our distinguished guests, a tribute we extend with resounding applause. May our gratitude ascend. Once again, can we have a big round of applause for all the eminent dignitaries and guests who have marked this event and given us a sense of pride with their gracious presence. May I now request all the dignitaries and honored guests on the dais to please take their seats on the front row with the audience. I would request Dr. Vijay Bhatkar sir to please stay back. Rest of the dignitaries can please take their designated seats off the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, it is my privilege to express our deepest gratitude to our distinguished guest whose presence here today adds immense value to our gathering. It is our utmost honor to welcome among us the chief guests of the conference, Padma Bhushan and Padma Shri awardee, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar Sir, one of India's most distinguished scientists and visionaries, and ex-chancellor of Nalanda University. You know him as the architect of India's first supercomputer, Parul, a pioneer who transformed our nation's technological landscape under challenging global constraints. As a founder of institutions such as CDAC, IIITM, Technopark, and MPCL, Dr. Bhatkar has laid the foundation for India's $245 billion IT industry. Sir's contribution span artificial intelligence, neuroscience, multilingual computing, and the convergence of science and spirituality. Sir has served in esteemed positions, including Chancellor of Nalanda University, Chairman of IIT Delhi Governing Council, and Chairman of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, a Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan awardee. Sir has authored over 120 books, published 80 technical papers, and continues to guide national missions in supercomputing, education, and innovation. Today, we are truly privileged to have him with us. Please join me in extending a heartfelt welcome to Dr. Vijay Bhatkar Sir. May I request Sir to please address the gathering.
Thank you indeed. Invite me to this very innovative conference with many novel ideas. I have participated in so many conferences, but the subject of this conference is indeed very new, very novel, and therefore I admire the very selection of subjects for this conference, and in which we are going to discuss some very interesting dialogues which will someday surprise me and surprise you all. I studied in Baroda, in Gujarat state, MS University, Maharaja Sahajira University. And I must confess that the way the university was conducted at that time, it was the beginning in a sense. But it really was a transforming experience for me, a very transforming experience. Then I went to IIT Delhi. But the experience at Baroda, MS University, was so life-changing for me. So I must say that Baroda was a life-changing experience. Now when I come here after so many years, I see a total change. A new university emerging. A new university is emerging, which I did not expect at all. And it is growing at such a fast rate one of the days, one of the future days, it will emerge as a great university to be admired, to be appreciated. I myself am surprised in a very short time, really, a university can emerge with great, I think, laurels and academic and other laurels in this university. So I really thank you for creating a university of great repute and abilities and veracities and varieties. I have not seen such a university with such varieties and so many abilities of that kind and offering so many courses. So I convey my really acclaim to this university because of its progress in very short time. India is emerging as one of the top, one of the leading universities of the world. We have, I myself have never imagined that the university can emerge in such a short time and convey its success to all of us and use as a lesson that we can create great universities. Mexico City itself was a great university. Parul University, I had not heard, I heard a name. But what Parul has accomplished in such a short time is very acclaimable, admirable, and so I'm really thankful to you all, chancellors and all the people who built this university and made a great name, making a great name for itself in the state of Gujarat, which I had not imagined. So I really congratulate this university. There are so many dimensions because you are given the dimensions which have not been introduced in the emerging or new universities in a very short time. In a very short time, you introduce subjects which are not taught even in the international universities. So that has surprised me in a way, that how can a university introduce so many new subjects, new dimensions to learning, and in the new education policy, which is not seen, which is not seen in the new universities at all. So I am very surprised by the progress made by this university. And the large university can come up This shows us that we can be one of the best learning centers of the world, because it is a short time one can accomplish such a progress, and particularly the subjects chosen for teaching are not today taught in many IITs also. So I'm very surprised that a university of this kind can come up in few months and introduce new subjects. Now that question comes, that how can you introduce, or how can you introduce such newer and newer subjects in such a short time? And that shows the progress of the education. So after coming here, I'm really surprised that there are so many IITs, of course, IITs, but the subjects introduced in this university, that what I saw in a very short time, and you will be introduce us to these new subjects which even I have not studied, and I can weigh my heartfulness for this, for the progress that you have made, and you are introduced to the new learners. So that shows the admirable progress of this university, and I am really surprised, admire the progress made by this university in a very short time. So once again, I thank you all, and all the students and all the professors for the progress that has been accomplished in a very short time. So that is really a progress which cannot be accomplished in a short time like this. Even the Pune University, from where I come from, long journey, but that university has not been able to, I am not comparing, not been able to achieve this progress. So I really acclaim the progress that is accomplished even by the, I think, very short time, even by the IITs. And this shows that India can emerge as the learning and teaching capital of the world, which is not expected. No, it was not expected. It was not expected. And when I see here, after coming here, such a large campus emerging and coming here, there is so much to learn from here. And I would like to see other universities also reaching to this level of excellence, so that we can accomplish excellence in a very short time. Very short time. And therefore I really acclaim the progress made by this university. I would like to come here again and again and see the acclaims that will be achieved in the Indian context and also the world campus. So thank you very much for such a very great progress accomplished by this new university. And I acclaim the chancellor and vice chancellors and professors. And this is really admirable progress which other universities should accomplish also. Thank you very much for this great progress.
Thanks so much, sir, for sharing words of wisdom with all of us. May I please request Dr. Geetika ma'am to please step ahead on the dais and present a token of gratitude to Dr. Vijay Bhatkar, sir. Can we take a moment to rise at our places and pay gratitude to Dr. Vijay Bhatkar, sir, for his presence in today's conference as chief guest of the conference. Can we give a big round of applause? Parul University. Thank you so much, ma'am. I request everyone to please be seated. Thank you so much. We are delighted to welcome another esteemed guest whose presence today fills us with inspiration and a deep sense of pride. Our esteemed guest of honor, Dr. Lakshmidhar Behera, sir. It is indeed a privilege to take this opportunity to introduce him to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are deeply honored to be joined by Dr. Lakshmidhar Behera, sir, an eminent academician, visionary researcher, and distinguished educator, currently serving as the director of IIT Mandi and a senior professor at IIT Kanpur. Sir brings with him over 28 years of pioneering contributions in the domains of intelligent systems, robotics, and brain-computer interfaces. With over 380 scholarly publications, several prestigious national awards, with a unique research portfolio that merges artificial intelligence with Indian knowledge system, Dr. Behera exemplifies the confluence of technological excellence and spiritual depth. Sir's dedication goes beyond scientific research. It extends into the realm of value-based education through transformative initiatives like the Bhakti Vedanta Gurukula and the upcoming Bhakti Vedanta University in Vrindavan. We are truly privileged to have him grace this occasion with his esteemed presence. May I now request everyone to join me in extending a warm welcome to Dr. Lakshmidhar Behera, sir. Sir, may I please request you to please step ahead on the dais and address the august gathering. Can we have a round of applause for Dr. Lakshmidhar Behera?
Thank you. You know, when I'm coming from Mandi, you know what is the population of Mandi? 40,000. And here your university has 67,000 only students. So it's a double, more than double the size of Mandi city. I just remembered when I was in Germany, I decided I will join IIT Kanpur. So my collaborators there, they said, where is Kanpur? I said, in India. No, we have never heard. They asked me, what is its population? I said, approximately 5 million. And they were wonderstruck. A city of 5 million is not known outside the world, outside India. But this then we have to substantially contribute to the body of knowledge. University, we organized a conference like yours here at IIT Mandi, Mind, Brain, Consciousness Conference. And in his talk, he was doing so much manipulation that you can put wings can fly after it is burned. But how he is doing? For last 30 years, he is only doing research, no teaching. See, thought leaders in science and technology of converting the outer experience, categories of experience. One is outer experience, the other is inner experience. Computer science lab building, they told me the varieties of, they showed me some of the facilities, and they also told me there is AR, VR, right? So basically, what is AR, VR? Now you sit here and you can feel like you are actually covering the entire universe or cosmos. It's possible. Whereas we Indians, because of certain reasons, were good at looking at or having the inner experience and also converting that inner experience into science and technology, Vigyan. And what is the benefit of that? Inner experience tells me the purpose of life. Inner experience makes me to understand the purpose behind holistic existence. How millions of species are coexisting, and what is the reason for their coexistence. And because we didn't create or harmonize these two experiences, inner and outer experience, so we have a problem in the world. We are calling it as a global climate change or global warming, resource depletion. We are also talking in terms of species extinction of species. In fact, if you don't do something, some prediction is there that in 40 years human species also will become extinct. So in that sense, we need to bring out the inner experience into science and technology. We get so I thought I just have to speak some extempore And then Richard told me, now you have to give a keynote. So I don't know what is the audience here. How many of you are PhD students here? Yeah, raise your hand little like this. Okay. So I don't know how this will go, but this is what I have opened. But I will try to speak in a way, because this is a plenary talk that I gave in Science of Consciousness conference in Barcelona just a month ago, in July 8th. It's not in a month. Yeah. So I'm going to speak to you something that we are trying to do at IIT Mandi, and I personally initiating building a university called Bhaktivedanta University to promote Indian knowledge system. So you will see some aspect of that. What is philosophy of consciousness? If you look at consciousness as given in our literature, in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, Lord Krishna speaks to Arjuna, says that Abhinasi, tu tad vidhi. Abhinasi means it cannot be destroyed. Nainam chindanti sastrani. Weapons cannot cut it. Nainam dahati pavaka. The fires cannot burn it. Nainam kledayanti apaha. Water cannot wet it. Nainam sosayati marudaha. The wind cannot dry it. It is immutable. It is always existing. It is the very basis of your existence. It is there in this plant, and hence plant becomes very beautiful, gives nice flower. I am there in front of you, I am speaking, you are able to hear. But I, the very person, when leaves this body, this is taken to the samshan, the graveyard, to be cremated. It's a wonderful substance, eternal substance, unchanging substance. It has a continuity, always. And obviously, no material instrumentation can catch it. It's not possible. You can have atomic force microscope, Hubble telescope, cannot catch it. Every time a new equipment comes, very sophisticated equipment, one Nobel laureate is born. Like recently, I think 2019, 2018, the Nobel laureate Liggett, he simply saw the cell. You see, we have a cell, the body is made up of 120 trillion cells. But the cell, if you go inside, you see newer things, like a new new cosmos. So better equipment you have, better instrument you have, you see the cell in its new avatar, and you get a Nobel Prize. But the creation is already there. Cell is there before you saw it. But nobody can see the consciousness that is the cause of your existence, cause of existence of everything, billions of universes. And that is what the Indian seers have demonstrated, that they are Tattvadarshi, because they are the seer of that very consciousness that makes this world so beautiful. So obviously this consciousness we cannot study within empiric science. We can't study. But nowadays, it is so embarrassing when people start saying that AI has consciousness and they connect AI to consciousness. You see, this is a this is a point. This is a robot in my lab in IIT Kanpur. This robot went for, we took this robot to participate in Amazon Robotics Challenge in Leipzig. So you see this robot, what is the challenge? Challenge was this robot was given a list of 10 objects, and it has to pick these objects from that rack. You see in those racks there are many daily use items are there, and just like you go to a grocery shop and you give a list, and the person there will hand over all those items in the list, and you pay the money and you come out. Similarly, these warehouses, they always have a bonanza time where they make things 50% off, 60% off, sometimes 80% off. And this normally happens in September, October, because they have to finish the warehouse and everything must start after the Christmas. So that is a plan, and every hour millions of orders reaches these warehouses. So obviously humans cannot comply this. So robot have to be employed, and they collect all these items and put in the delivery package, right? In the delivery box, and then that's order. So how many of you think this robot is conscious? Aduda. Or how many of you think this robot is not conscious? Means neither conscious nor unconscious. So what is this robot? If you are not raising your hand in both the questions, what is this robot? It is neither conscious nor unconscious. So what is the meaning of this? Okay. So you see, we can develop such agents. They are behaviorally almost equal to human, or even better than human. For example, here the robot can do this thing without being tired 24 hours. No problem. Human being, if you put it for him or her for 8 hours, it says, my time is over, I must go. Right? So you develop fatigue. Here there is no fatigue. I will not speak this because this is very, very tough. Because some of you think AI is we have developed ChatGPT, we ask any question, it gives an answer, it's a conscious being. But let me tell you how ChatGPT or any kind of system that are being built. For example, this is my PhD student Indraj now, who was from Indonesia, and this is a kind of energy function. When you control a robot, its energy must be conserved, right? Then it will be stable. If energy is more, you will see the small kids, they are always, in active state, and they can destroy the entire house if you allow them to do so, because a lot of energy is there. So energy must be conserved if you want to be a stable person. So this is energy. This energy has to be minimized so that How do you find that this energy is minimized? You have to find the rate change of that energy. Rate change of that energy. And how that rate change of energy is a positive or negative. If it is negative, then it is conserved. If it is positive, it is unconserved. This is a simple mathematical ideas that are there. So my student came with this equation. You see this equation. He came and he didn't know what are these P dot and E dots. So he sat with me for 1 hour. I scratched my head, then we brought out these two equations. From where these equations came? No AI brought these equations. These equations, the researcher who is working. It is his conscious construct. Any mathematical equation is a conscious construct of an individual, whether it is a Schrodinger wave equation or it's a reaction diffusion equation, Fokker-Planck equation. So all these equations are conscious constructs. Machines don't develop it. And this equation, once we found out, I told this Indraj, now please go and place this in this equation and see whether V dot is negative definite. It became negative definite. And then what did he do? He put this this two equation in the onboard computer of the robot. He had programmed this equation. And then you see the robot follows a pink ball, making a fixed distance between the pink ball and the end effector. Okay. Now we have many complicated actions like robotic knots and all those things, but that is not the purpose of my work discussion today. I just wanted to explain to you how can we study consciousness within empiric domain. Of course, I cannot study the consciousness that is pure. You see, as an individual, we are made up of 3 categories of energy. 3 तरह की ऊर्जा हमारी शरीर में है. एक है भौतिक ऊर्जा, शारीरिक ऊर्जा. दूसरा है मानसिक ऊर्जा, which I call semantic energy, meaningful energy. And third category of energy is the consciousness. That is pure Satchit Ananda, beyond the empiric domain. But we can study the effect of this pure consciousness on mind and brain. We can study. We can make a model of mind and brain. And that is what I will show you today. I will skip this. So there are 2 views. One is atheistic view or physicalist view, and then there is the IKS view, Indian knowledge system view. The physicalist view is, there are so many things, but I am only talking today about very few aspects of our existence. One is perception, perceptual space. Suppose I ask you where you see me, what will be your answer? Yeah. So this is a wrong answer, and everybody gives this answer. You don't see me in front of you. You see me in your perceptual space. I am seeing here. I am not seeing there. My sensory organs are within me. And everything, all my awareness and the idea, this is an object, this is a chair, this is table, this is auditorium, is all here. It's all here, not out there. Okay? So, this is where the science starts. When I am becoming aware of things here, that thing pertains to the outer world or the inner world. There is a distance. So what physicalist view says, perceptual space emerges from physical space, which is wrong. Absolutely wrong. In fact, it is otherwise. Like here, Dr. Geetika is sitting here, she and her family members conceived this university. Am I right, Dr. Geetika? Or university came and you came later? No. The university manifested within their mind. You can say in so many ways, their thought process. And then physical space emerged. Try to understand. Like for example, Dr. Geetika must have gone to the architect telling, this is how I want to see my university. Please make a master plan. Ideas were exchanged not physically. Ideas were exchanged in a perceptual space, through perceptual space. So IKS tells that physical space is an emergence property of the perceptual space. Just ulta. So, how do we explain perceptual space? No, science doesn't understand what is perceptual space. Let me tell you. It is so advanced. You can fly from here to New York in 10 hours or 14 hours. But we don't understand what is perceptual space. So how do you understand? So this is where we have to marry our Indian knowledge system with modernity and create models, create knowledge. And this is one I would like to explain to you. There is locality and non-locality. Locality means I am here. I have a fixed position. I have fixed momentum. Non-locality. Anybody who understands non-locality? All the professors here who can explain what is non-locality? Nobody? No. You should be brave enough to speak what is non-locality. You see, you are sitting here and you may not be sitting here. Am I right? Like students, they are being forced to sit here, but they are there in their cafeteria. They may be there in sports field, or when this fellow will finish his job so that we can be free. So you are here, but you are still not here. This is called non-locality. I'm just trying to explain in a layman's language so that you can appreciate. And this non-locality experiment was done, and last, I think 23, Zeilinger got Nobel Prize in physics, showing that two quantum objects, you entangle them and then keep them away light years apart, you make a state change to the one simultaneously at light years. The other object, what is state you can know without measuring. That completely changed the idea of space-time. That space-time is for you can only access to another point in the space at the highest speed, that is the speed of light, not beyond that. And anyway, these are all scientific concepts. I told you what is non-locality. For example, let me tell you, my mind is here. My mind is here. According to Mana, is situated in Hridaya. Hridaya means the heart. Okay? And that's where the mind is sitting. And along with the mind, there is Atman, the soul. But mind is everywhere in my body. This is called non-locality. And mind is also outside of my body, in the sense within my perceptual space it is moving around. I had invited one researcher, Martin Fleming, to IIT Mandi. He did a session with my faculty members on remote viewing. What is remote viewing? That I can control your thought process from here. So I'm looking here at a very wonderful fall, let's say Niagara Fall. You don't know it. I give you pen and paper with certain control environment. Majority of you will be able to exactly draw what I am watching. This is called remote viewing, and this research was done by CIA because they want to remotely recognize whether the enemy is coming in some way or other, right? And this remote viewing is a non-local idea. You are not connected with that object, neither through Hubble telescope, nor through satellite, but you are sitting here and drawing that very thing. This is a non-locality. I'll give you another example of non-locality. Many times you will have intuition, or you remember your best friend, right? And suddenly you find that very best friend is knocking at the door. Or that very best friend is calling you over the phone. And this normally happens to all of us. So there is Carl Jung. He is one of the finest psychiatrists that the modern the world has seen. Is from Switzerland. And he and Pauli, who is a Nobel laureate, they collaborated with each other to figure out how this is happening, to explain this psychic phenomena, again using the non-locality approach. This is non-local. Try to understand, there are two things. Locality means there is neighborhood. Non-locality means there is no neighborhood. Locality means space-time continuity. Non-locality means there is no space-time continuity. This is something that I have told my students to solve this problem since 2000. This is 25 years. But now we are able to crack it. We will crack it. Imagine that while walking you saw a nice mango tree with ripened mangoes. What you will do? You will take a stone nearby and aim it and make the mango fall so that you can enjoy the tasty ripened mango. Correct? How many of you have done this? Dropping a mango from a tree. That also many hands are not going up. I don't know what you are up to. When I was 4-year-old, deepest jungle, and collected. Me and my friends, we will eat a lot of mangoes and then we'll full, we will make our pockets full, we will go to home and tell our Papa, Papa, see, I have brought the mangoes, right? Now question here is, what is the problem here? Problem here is, your thought is arising that you want to have a mango. And that very thought makes you to pick up a stone. And you target the mango and mango falls down. Science doesn't know how to deal with it. Science will tell, if this is my stone in my hand, what is the momentum of this and what is the angular momentum? Then it will create a projectile and you will see whether it can hit the mango or not. It cannot say anything that it has really started my thought process somewhere in my perceptual space. And what is happening? We say we are so advanced. We don't know even how to model this simple thing. An idea generated from my perceptual space, and how do I explain that using science? And let me tell you, we just published a paper in Proceedings of Royal Society A. Exactly, the problem that I told you, that's in the process, but I'll tell you what is this problem that we solved. You have seen the flock of birds, yes or no? Flock of fish, you have seen this, right? How they maintain the flock, right? How do they maintain the flock? And you saw that when birds are flying together, there are hundreds of birds. Fish are flocking, hundreds of small fish are flocking. How are they maintaining that flock? This is called swarm dynamics within the science. And we solved it from perceptual space. From perceptual space. You imagine when you are in a flock, suppose when you are going as a group on a tourism trip, let's say. You maintain a flock. So there you don't see what is your GPS position, what is the GPS position. Proper understanding and maintain a flock. That doesn't happen. And forget about the birds, they don't have any gadgets. You may have your phone number or phone and you can call your friend if he's lost. That doesn't happen to the birds or fishes. How do they maintain the flock? And we are trying to stupidly explain the same swarm dynamics using GPS and all these things that never happens in nature. And this is will be a little tough to explain to you. All undergraduates are sitting here. I'm feeling very bad that I'm giving them. Provost, possibly I should have spoken how to heal the mind, unfortunately. But let me explain to you, because this is very important. People thought that we cannot bring our Indian knowledge system in the scientific domain. And you will see that this is what is the word. So here you see this is a bird, this is an agent, it has its own neighbor. Similarly, this is agent, it has its own neighbor here, the blue one. Similarly, this is an agent, it has its own neighbor. So everybody has their visual cone. In that visual cone, I am seeing my perceptual space. There is no measurement. Try to understand. This is happening in perceptual space. Right? And what we did, we explained this neighborhood in terms of quantum superposition. For example, and what I do, for example, if I follow my immediate neighbors, then this is local. But in a flock, a bird doesn't see the neighbors, because the baby bird must watch his mother far away, because baby bird is looking at the mother to remain in the flock. So locality is violated, is watching far. And in that zone, you create a superposition. I don't know how many of you understand this quantum science. Quantum science says that, just all of you know computer science, right? Let me start it. Like for example, you have 3-bit register. So what you can store there? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, like that. 1, 1, 1. And 8 different store there, 3-bit data. But in register, you can store all of them together. So that is 0 as well as 1. These are the ideas that has developed in quantum mechanics. So when I am looking at my perceptual space, I see, I follow one of them, I follow 2 of them, I follow all of them. These are all possibilities. These are all possibilities. Here, she is the boss of this area, right? Simultaneously, she is also mother, she is also husband, she is also daughter. She is here, she is the boss. When she goes to her husband, she becomes wife. All these ideas that I have, these are all superposition. And this superposition, one of the identity comes out according to the situation. And that very idea has been used, and we have created perceptual operator, and then these are all big mathematics, you don't have to worry about it. And then we are able to show that how that the flock is happening, you see. These are all oriented. These are all maths, so I don't want to bore you now. These also I will skip. I'll tell you something very interesting. You see, I ran a Gurukul where I am trying to establish a university. We have trained around 30 students. You see, this boy is in my office here. This is my office. And so you see, he's blindfolded, he can't see anything. And I'm giving him, I'm creating some, searching some images in my mobile and giving him, and he's telling what it is. This boy can read books, not only tell what is inside, what is the picture, but he can read, he can also read. Okay? So what we are trying to do, we are trying to understand how this perception is happening. This is blindfolded, and how this perception is happening. Right? So we did 2 categories of analysis. One is EEG analysis. EEG means brain wave. We wanted to see what is happening to his brain wave when he is able to tell that this is a breeze, this is peacock, or this is a specific word. We also have, in our lab at IIT Mandi, we have a megahertz probe. That means it can collect the biosignal which is in megahertz. Right? So this was the experiment. We open the eyes, make the subject to open the eyes and read everything, and we see how his EEG signal. And then we blindfold the same subject, and then we give him like image, number, a word, and we would like to tell him to tell what it is. And then we study the EEG as well as the megahertz signal. So you can find out that when I'm just looking, with my open eyes, not much EEG activity. But when I'm blindfolded and still I'm being told to do action, lot of easy activity. And not only that, we see when he successfully tells what is the p-value, and you see the frontal, temporal and occipital area, we have a good p-value. P-value is less than 0.05 is better. That is what the statisticians would explain to you. But let me not worry. But what is my interest is here in megahertz signal. We are actually now creating a multi-probe megahertz device, and this megahertz signal, when we study it, you see the p-values are -8 in all areas. That is, it shows that when you are focused, when you are meditative, your persona has much higher, you are generating higher signal, because you see that classically all doctors, those who are neurosurgeons, they would tell your brain is 100 Hz signal. But we are showing that this biological body has signals from depending the bigger meditators. I think I should stop here. There are many things here. Not like this is anesthesia based conscious biomarker. Sense of agency, this is also published now in +1. Some of our raga philosophy, achintya veda veda tattva, matter and consciousness simultaneously one and different. You cannot, this is only matter. Consciousness and matter are together. Okay? This body will perish, you will not find it. So this idea is there in IKS, this has to be developed as a science. This is our IXMA center. Ramajayam is going to give a talk on this. So in our IXMA center, we holistically study and varieties of scientific topic. We would like to derive there laws of psychology, bioswitches for consciousness, the various intervention technique like yoga, meditation, Ayurveda. I will end with you just now. We just finished submitting a paper, case study to British Medical Journal. And what is this work is that a patient who was suffering from aplastic anemia. Aplastic anemia means your bone marrow, they become dysfunctional and hence the blood cells are not created. So your platelet count goes down. Depending on the severity of your disease, you will be infused with blood every 15 days, 7 days, 3 days. This particular patient, he has gone to the worst stage where he was being infused with blood 3 days, once in 3 days. And there was no hope. The plan was he has to be taken to the London for bone marrow. And that is when an Ayurveda doctor came into the scene and prescribed very simple medicine. He has to take twice in a day, empty stomach. What is the medicine? Giloy ras, amla ras and neem ras. Fresh. Amla ras, giloy ras, neem ras. And he was cured within 3 months. Perfectly, for last 1.5 years, he is a healthy person. Okay, this is a case study. And this case study we are studying now in a cellular level. We are taking the rats, we are simulating the bone marrow dysfunctionality in their bone, and then we are going to apply the same medicine. We will see what are the changes at cellular level, such that this very idea of Ayurveda can be presented to the world. This is the empiric science. Watch Indian knowledge system. Okay, so that was a little digression. Conclusion. Perceptual space, being very subtle, cannot possibly be explored by classical methods. Non-locality is one of the strong scientific ideas by which we can study subtle and gross interaction. The subtle gross interaction, do you understand? There is Atman, there is Man, and there is Indriya. So there is interaction. I didn't explain many things because it requires a lot of understanding. So these interactions can be explained by non-locality, not by locality that modern science pursues. The conscious biomarkers that will be valuable in therapeutic application can be developed through gross and subtle interaction. Again, ultimate goal is to show that physical space is the emergence of perceptual space, an I-case idea. And I would like to see India dazzles in the world knowledge stage, provided we take a vow. Let's pursue our knowledge system. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Your insights on building a strong, future-ready system by integrating consciousness with AI have truly broadened our vision and inspired deeper reflections on how consciousness can operate through non-local means, accessing information beyond space and time constraints. Thanks for sharing all those insights, sir. May I please request Dr. Amit Ganatra, sir, Provost, Parul University, to please step ahead on the dais and present a token of gratitude. Today's guest of honor, Dr. Lakshmidhar Behra, sir. Can we have a round of applause? Thank you so much, Dr. Lakshmidhar, sir, for your presence in today's inaugural session. Following these enlightening addresses, let us now take a moment to witness India's rich cultural heritage that find one of its most graceful expressions through the art of dance, an embodiment of tradition, devotion, and celebration. To carry forward the spirit of warmth and welcome, we now take a pause and present a soulful cultural performance, an artistic reflection of reverence and joy. For the same, may I please request the guest of honor and the chief guest of the day to please be seated off the dais and sit back and relax and watch a beautiful fusion dance performance by Ritu Jha, a student of PIBA, Parul Institute of Business Administration. I request the team members to make the necessary adjustments of the seats. Please join me in witnessing this beautiful fusion dance performed by talented student of Parul Institute of Business Administration, Ms. Ritu Jha.
सोफा तो हटाओ, तू एक्सपर्ट।
Come now, follow my lead. Come now, follow my lead.
अबे यार
Thank you so much, Ritu, for a scintillating performance. With that, we now transition to the academic sessions of the conference. I now hand over the proceedings to Ms. Anushka, who will continue as your host for the upcoming plenary sessions and technical sessions under BLAIM 2025. Have a very good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We now commence the first plenary session, which promises to be an intellectually enriching experience, featuring thought leaders who are redefining the frontiers of neuroscience and inner development. We are honored to welcome Dr. I. Cherian, Director, Institute of Neurosciences, College of Medical Sciences, Bharatpur, Nepal. This session will be moderated by Ms. Nimisha Pancholi, Happiness Coach and Manager at Ekagrata. This session is being overseen by our track chair, Mr. Ravi Shankar, Director of Ekagrata, Parul University, whose guidance has been instrumental in curating today's knowledge exchange. We now invite Mr. Dr. I. Cherian to deliver his address on our journey with sister nostomy, brain cooling, the chakras, quantum physics, and Shiva.
Good morning. It's such an honor to be here. Although I must say I'm out of my depth talking to an audience which is non-neurosurgical. It's probably very few times that I've been talking to audiences who are non-neurosurgical, and I hope you have to be kind to me when I explain a few things. So our journey starts in 2007 when we mistook a trauma brain for an aneurysmal subarachnoid hemorrhage. Now both are very similar. Now a lot of people won't understand what they are. Both are similar, and I ended up doing a surgery for an aneurysm on a trauma patient. And you know what happened? The brain swelling which was in that trauma patient went down, and I could have left it just like a coincidence. But 2007 we started doing this kind of surgery for all trauma patients. So that was the accidental discovery that we made in 2007. That got us thinking.
Hello?
Because till then, nobody knew that the CSF was going into the brain. The CSF is something, it's like water at the base of the brain. Till now everybody's been thinking that the CSF is used only for flotation. That means, to make sure the shape of the brain doesn't change, like a wave which is beached. So, till now everybody was thinking so the CSF is only for flotation, buoyancy. We started thinking that the CSF actually goes into the brain. I remember my dad telling me that mind is the biggest lab. In the West, that's exactly what Professor Baira was telling. The way Indians think, the mind is the biggest lab. So the serendipity was opening cisterns in trauma. It reduced the edema and obviates the need for something called decompressive hemicraniectomy, which is a 100-year-old procedure. So we changed. We went to Cambridge, Addenbrooke Hospital, where the original Monroe Kelly doctrine started. We told them you're wrong, and they laughed at us. And this is when we started in 2007. And now it's been a paradigm shift. It has replaced the 100-year-old surgery. It's called the decompressive hemicraniectomy. Cystonostomy is done in over 80 countries, including Switzerland, where we were called to see Michael Schumacher and his team of neurosurgeons. They came over, learned cystonostomy from us, started it in Europe. It's included in the GINOS guidelines, Indian national guidelines, and many national guidelines. It's a textbook by TM. We had a session on cystonostomy in 2019 WFNS. An entire session on cystonostomy from people presenting from all over the world, including from Harvard. So, all started with the concept, the mind is a lab. The mind is the biggest lab. We may not have had any basic science research, but we could think, we could imagine. So, the concept that time was the CSF enters the brain. Why? How does the CSF enter the brain? So we started thinking. And we drew this diagram. You had the cisterns there, that's the blue space at the base of the brain. That's the cisterns. And coincidentally, all the vessels going from the cisterns into the brain. So if the CSF had to enter, there had to be spaces around these vessels, and there sure was. So we started researching it in this way back in 2007, and we found out that there were spaces around these vessels, and we proposed that the CSF actually enters the brain through these spaces. And I didn't know how it entered till we went to France one time, and we went to Leonardo da Vinci's museum, and there was this Archimedes screw. You turn a screw inside, a confined space that will bring the water up. It's exactly what was happening. Instead of the screw, there was pulsations of the vessels. And you had the cistern there, the blue. You had the vessels going into the brain. You had space around these vessels, and these vessels were pulsating, creating a wave. So we proposed that this is how the CSF went in. This we did in 2009. We were present in all over the world, and 2012 came the geolymphatic system, which showed beautifully that this happened. We started thinking, why does the CSF enter the brain? First was how, the second was why. Why do you think the CSF enters the brain? Do you know that the brain takes 1/5 of the total blood supply of your body? 1/5. It's one of the most metabolically active organs. And yet, there's no real cooling system. How do you think the brain is cooled? Anybody? So we started thinking nobody knew how the brain was cooled. So, looking at it, if you know physics, you have these sinuses. You have all these sinuses. These are large air spaces. They are lined with mucosa, which is like a wet cloth. And what happens when you breathe? When you are taking a breath, there are these small, very small pores which lead into the sinuses. And when you take a breath, because of Bernoulli's principle, is like a fan onto this large room filled with wet clothes. It's like a radiator. It's really like a radiator. And all these sinuses are arranged exactly below the largest collection of CSF, the suprasellar system. So we propose that the sinuses are there to cool the brain. And you see, the sinuses cool the brain by convection, and this cooled CSF is pumped into the brain by the pulsations of the vessels. When we proposed this for the first time, people thought we were crazy. We were not allowed to publish in any place. We sent it all to different places, but we were allowed to publish in some very small journals. But when I was talking about it in Paris, Yann Opris, he was bringing out the Springer Nature's Neurosciences book. He told me he got 2 weeks. You can put it up as a textbook chapter. This would be the 33rd chapter, last chapter. So this was our concept, and this was the chapter which came out. And so today, people accept it, but it started off as a crazy idea of us talking about how the brain is cooled. Now then we started thinking in circa 2013, 2014, we started thinking if the cooling mechanism of this engine is so cool, how cool should the engine be? What an amazing engine should it be? So we started, I have a keen interest in automobiles. So I started looking at the brain anatomy. In fact, we looked at the anatomy so much that I became a WFNS, the World Federation of Neurological Sciences anatomy member, one of the 7 guys who teach anatomy to the neurosurgeons. But I couldn't find the answer there. The answer of this system, this beautiful system, was not there in the microanatomy. Anatomy is fascinating, but even then, you couldn't find the answer. So we started looking at the indirect evidences. We started thinking about, we thought, is the brain a time machine which uses quantum principles? Professor Behra was talking about quantum coupling, quantum tunneling, quantum superposition. Migratory birds, they can literally see Earth's magnetic field thanks to quantum entanglement process in their eyes. So it's not something voodoo, it's not something of a magic. This is happening here. You know, the sharks, they have something called the ampullae of Lorenzini, which enables them to see the electrical field. Literally, like if you close your eyes, somebody comes near you, you can identify that person with your closed eyes. You know, when Professor Behra talked about the children with blindfolds seeing, we had 30 of these guys coming into my center in 2017 from Sri Sri Ravi Shankar's ashram. We did functional MRI for them, and we found out that the corpus callosum was highly active. I see these experiments too. We found that and they published it. Now the quantum biology, quantum coherence facilities. Quantum facilitates photosynthesis. How does quantum tunneling occur in enzymatic alien navigation? So, that our brain is just not 100 billion neurons that we're looking at. Other evidences, human cochlea, a perfect example of Fibonacci's golden ratio. Ganges draining to the sea, and that's the blood vessels in a millimeter cube of the fractal geometry. And can you see the similarity between Ganesh and the Mandelbrot set for infinity? And if you think means Shunya, Shiva, the concept of Shiva is nothingness, while the concept of you go to moksha. We're between these two. Okay, we are in a matrix stuck between these two. I'm going to show where this puffer fish is making something which defies all logic. Okay? This puffer fish, if you look at the brain cells, it really cannot make something so complex. Even you cannot make something so complex. I'm going to rush through the video, and I'm going to show you what it makes. This is what it makes at this. Have you seen this pattern? It's in the center of our flag. It's the Ashoka Chakra. So what is that? That leads us to the question, what is semantic? This sound. How you see a sound. So if you take a speaker and put some sand on top of it, synesthesia. Synesthesia is the ability people take LSD to get, people take drugs to get high to get synesthesia, but synesthesia is something very common. We don't allow our children to get into synesthesia. I tell that to my wife, and I don't send my kids to school because school tells you this is the way. It's not always the way. So synesthesia is something that you can develop. So probably the Indian knowledge system was seeing sounds, and that's why the fish probably could see the sound. And what's the sound? I'll come to that later. And this is what it is probably drawing. So I was telling you about mantras. Every mantra has a yantra. Yantra is a pattern. It's a pattern. And that pattern actually corresponds to that mantra. So mantras and yantras are interlinked. Now we talk about strings. You probably know that the fundamental particles, atoms, are further made of more fundamental particles, and we used to think at one point of time that these are strings. And these strings, strangely enough, these strings, and imagine billions and trillions, They're not particles, they're strings, and they vibrate. And when they vibrate, and understanding this, told about Nagas, Kundalini, all that. The serpent or the string that resides within us and us within it. It's strange to understand timelessness. This is in the brain. So recently there was this paper which talked about quantum entanglement with these strings in the brain. So this is a string theory, and I always tell people, concert of these sounds is probably Shiva, is probably what is the concept of Shiva. It's, in other words, short, the chakras, Dara chakra, what are the 7 chakras and what they mean? I mean, it was, as a neurosurgeon, it is strange enough to think about this, but it's many people in many lines, starting from Nagasadhus in Mukti to literally everybody, and it opened your mind up. So Muladhara is a chakra at the basal chakra. So the Muladhara chakra, I wouldn't talk about their significance in terms of autonomic ganglia. As a neurosurgeon, I can do that. Understand what is the Muladhara chakra. The Muladhara chakra is the base creativity. So when the prana fill up, will be Muladhara. Manifest as karma and creativity. You may think lust is negative, but it is not. The lust is what drives life. If there was no lust, there would be no life. So Muladhara, when you say Muladhara is wrong, then you stop the journey then. Then comes Swadhisthana, which is the senses to satisfy you. You are satisfied by the ascent of prioritization. In other words, if you are not satisfied, you are not energized too. So Manipura is the chakra of energization. Surya Namaskara, all these focuses on Manipura. Then comes another chakra of two pure emotions. Both bring tears. What's the importance of tears? Tears are what? Tears are your see anything. The glass is our vision, and it's stained by every good. You say that this man is good. So the karma is accumulating, and you're not washing it off. Wash it off only by tears, and that's been something we are gifted with. The children have it, they wash off every day, it's karma every day, but you don't. And that's why anahata is very important. You do mudra pranayama or chakra pranayama, you come to anahata, tears flow. So, and that is because for cleansing, it's something very important. Then comes Vishuddha. Vishuddha is pure kindness. If you are not understanding anything, but if you have the kindness, if you have only one shirt and you are able to give that one shirt to somebody without thinking about anything else, you already have prana at the Vishuddha chakra. This means you are already at that level. The best example of Vishuddha is Vishuddha chakra prana is Karna. Just before the battle, Indra comes to Karna and asks him for the Kavach Kundala, and he gives it away without thinking twice. This is pure kindness. This is Vishuddha. Then comes Agya, where the Ida, the female Nadi, male Nadi, Pingala, and the Sushumna joins together in the form of the trident. And what it really means is that there is no male, no female, no past, no present. present. No good, no bad. So at Agya, there is absolutely, your world is destroyed. And what's your world? Your world is one, is full of boundaries, because your world is made by the blue suit, the good person, the bad person, future, past, okay, white, black. The world will be destroyed because there is no male, no female, no past. Say tamas is bad. No, tamas is actually tamas, sattvic, and nothing. When you differentiate and you judge nothing, and that is when you come to Agya Chakra. That is where your third eye opens and your world is destroyed. It's not a real destruction, it's a destruction of your world, your perception. And then you understand it is Nirakar, Nirgun. And then comes Sahasrasara. You are not part of the universe and you are the universe. These are the 7 chakras and how you transcend. You know, there's a yoga called Nirvana Shatakam which explains Advaita so well. Advaita was when I told you there's no differentiation. And it says, na punyam na papam. It goes on saying, na saukhyam na dukkham. So, the definition of who are you, who you are, is nothing of this. Absolutely nothing. Shivoham, Shivoham. This is what everything else is there, that silence is you. So back to finite senses and the space-time matrix where we are. What do? That is an exoscope that we first conceptualized. So we made the first exoscope in the world. Professor Bera was showing us his robots. We will show you some of ours. This was something that we made in Alicante. This is an exoscope with a camera and an endoscope. So this system was made in 2011 and completed in 2014. This can identify, this machine can identify a field. I was the technical lead for this, and my engineer was Mr. Eduardo from the Alicante University. We made it with a shoestring budget of $10,000. Us the robots. So that is the visual pattern identification working, and it's being made to the center of the field. And Eduardo even hacked the Metronic navigation system and made sure that when he moves his head, the robot also moves. Okay? So it was the world's first exoscope. And then after that, we didn't patent it. We wrote it in a textbook. And that was the textbook. Desk Lab made it. And we have one of the largest experience. You can see with the exoscope, that's my theater, that's the surgery. How clean and how magnified these images are. These are about 1 millimeter vessels. And then, because it's $1 million scope in India, we started working with a company in India and made Asia's first exoscope. It's called Sanma Yoko, after my daughter. Her name is Yoko. So we made the first exoscope in Asia. And then we designed our theater in Maharashtra, something unlike the whole world had never seen. So we put in an intraoperative CT, 192 slices. The first one in Siemens had done it for us. We designed it so that the CT comes into the theater while we are operating with the head open. It can come into this. And this is AR, VR, machine learning and robotics all into one. So we designed this theater. It's it's called Medaranya, or the jungle of the brain. So the Medaranya concept is, something we are working with the DRDO and the post-pole labs. And then the neurosurgeon. And there are 3 classifications of. I told you I was in the anatomy for some time. And our classification has been taken as one of the trinity for, which is a greater achievement for us as in neuroanatomy. Then we started, when the exoscope came, we introduced something called the ultra micro neurosurgery. This is operating in zooms over 40. And till then, people were operating at zooms of 12.5. So we went into operating to zooms of up to, I wanted to check what are my limits, what time will the tremor set in. I guess up till 100. Now the exoscope can magnify up to 100, and till now we haven't had setting tremors. So you can see this is a part of a, you will not see a drop of blood, so you don't have to be worried. This is one of the finest and one of the toughest procedures, one of the commonest in neurosurgery. And I'm sure no neurosurgeon in the world would have seen it at this magnification. I have a few neurosurgeons here. I'm sure nobody would have seen it at this magnification. The instruments were designed by us in a company called Omedic, because Esculap's German instruments were not able to, we were not able to, at this magnification the instruments were not. And this is the surgery that we're doing. Every single vessel, there's not a single bipolarity done. Every single vessel, even the smallest micrometer vessels, we save. And magnification up to 51.8. What you see is 1/10. And we are operating such. We also looked at fear, and we had published this unified theory. We run a YouTube channel. We talk about things like 0 to infinity, about quantum coherence in trust versus doubt, and creation, like the conformal cyclical cosmology of Roger Penrose. And all the students here, I want to show you this simple video. Okay? It doesn't have the biggest lie that you were told. Okay? The biggest lie, it ain't that simple. The people today, as they say, nothing is simple. While everything really is. If you want, this is a story of a world champ who came back from a car crash, quadriplegia, and went on back to become the boxing world champ. So, this is his real. It's not that simple. That's the biggest lie. The real answer, if you're looking at a university, if you're looking at establishing anything, anybody who tells you it's not that simple, okay? Anybody tells you it should not be done, okay? Don't accept anybody. Do you know Novak Djokovic? Down. Wimbledon 2019, and it was 2 match points, and even Alcaraz this time, okay, in the Wimbledon, okay. Think here, it's interesting, and this is what we do when we are not into neurosurgery. This is what we do. Always remember, Nirlajam Sarvam Sukhi. There is a have to be dressed in a particular way. You don't have to be identifying yourself as something. You can identify yourself as everything. Okay, can be a surgeon, you can be true quantum superposition. Thank you very much. God bless.
you, sir, for sharing such a profound and layered perspective that beautifully bridged ancient wisdom with modern insights, offering of inner balance and cosmic harmony.
How?
Shankar to kindly felicitate Dr. Aib Sherian as a token of her appreciation and deep respect.
लाइव चालू हो गया यहाँ से
May I please request all the audience to please be seated for a few minutes. Sherian sir, can we please have you on stage? Thank you, everyone. We now proceed to our first panel discussion focused on a subject that lies at the heart of human flourishing, the role of contemplative practices in promoting social well-being. This segment will explore how mindfulness, meditation, and self-reflection can shape not only individual transformation, but also foster resilient, compassionate communities. Our track chair for this panel is Mr. Mahesh Lohar, Mind Coach at iSmart Life Foundation, Pune. The session will be moderated by Dr. Deepal Patel inside Parul University. We begin with Professor Sandhu Chetri, Director of the Yogananda School of Spirituality and Happiness, Shoolini University. He will be sharing his insights on the theme Mindfulness, the Source of Happiness. Also, we invite Dr. Raman Jayam Govindraja, Assistant Professor, Indian Knowledge Systems and Mental Health